Well, what the crap is going on, YouTube? You've probably been wondering where I'm at. I've been busy this weekend. I've been out of town part of the time. Well, kind of in town, but just busy. I had people visiting, and then I was out of town a little bit. You can see that Patchy has gone back to his Austrian roots. This is Empire Total War, and I am leading an Austrian army in a 2v2. My teammate is right over here. This is, I'm trying to remember his name. It's like FU or FSU Chaos or something like that. You'll get to see it at the end. Anyway, I played a couple of battles against Chaos. One was in a 2v2 in which he soundly defeated me. I say soundly, I mean it was close, but I mean in the end he soundly defeated me. Like I had a kind of a chance to win it, but I didn't pull it off. Anyway, he played a fun battle. Like it really was like one of the tougher, like more strategic Empire battles that I've played in a long time. Just because, to be honest, like a lot of the players in Empire don't have a whole lot of time on it anymore, just because a lot of them have moved on to newer Total War games. So anyway, Chaos is fielding an army that's very similar to what he fielded against me. It's pretty heavy on light infantry. He's got a couple of Fergusons mixed in with some green jackets. Then he's got some line to back them up and a lot of light dragoons. So this is a firepower based army. It's not necessarily real heavy hitting when it comes to heavy line infantry. But the firepower brought by the light dragoons and the rifles is what makes this army dangerous. And you can see that his opponent does not play real smart here. Runs some light dragoons right up into his light infantry, and they just get absolutely thwacked on both sides. He's got four 4-pound howitzers too, which my rules were only one artillery piece, but oh well. Whenever you bring too much artillery, it kind of unbalances it against you rather than for you. So our opponent here is just going to get thrashed. Chaos is just going to absolutely wreck him. And I mean, to be honest, both of our opponents were pretty new, so whenever I'm harping on their tactics here, it's not because they're like horrible players or something. They're pretty new and they may not know like the best way to do this. You can see he's got some blob attack orders clicked here, or some movement orders. And this is really just going to get your men shoot up alive, and you never really want to march into this kind of layered fire. So right here is a bunch of green jackets layered up after line infantry. He's using a militia as a meat shield rush. I'm also doing the same. This is actually a pretty darn sound tactic in Empire Total War. As the reloading takes so long, getting your enemy to fire first shots into a militia unit can be devastating. Now on my front, there's not a whole lot going on other than I'm trying to gain like a quick cap supremacy because I can tell that my opponent is not paying attention to his flank. So I bring up my light dragoons and take some shots at his light dragoons, but then I'm going to run mine out of the way, and I'm going to let my cuirassier come in here and mop up these light dragoons. So there they go. There's my cuirassier going to come in and start taking it to these light dragoons. You can see all the haze from the smoke still floating around. So my cuirassier will easily mop up those light dragoons, and I'm going to let my light dragoons shoot out the rest of his over here. I'm feeling pretty confident that I can win this fight because I outnumber him by quite a lot. Over here, I've sacrificed some Hungarian hussars into these green jackets. These green jackets have bayonets, and they'll defeat my Hungarian hussars. Even though they're pretty good for hussar units, for the price, these guys are a pretty effective unit for disruption. But this disruption is going to allow Chaos to move in more of his troops. Here he runs in some light dragoons for a quick charge. Now Chaos is a little smarter with his cav than I am here. I just kind of committed mine and let them die. You're going to see Chaos run his light dragoons straight through, and it's because of just what I talked about. It's because the bayonets on these green jackets will make his cav lose an extended melee fight. Even a heavy unit like Cuirassier will eventually lose. So Chaos is going to make some really smart moves here and just keep running his light dragoons around the field to create maximum chaos. Yeah, it works out for his name, huh? So in any case, like I said, you can see that disruption has screwed up his guys a little and not given him the chance to flank Chaos. And he's got Ferguson riflemen and some other units here that are just going to absolutely rip these American units to shreds. American units are just no match for British units head-to-head. The British units have probably the most firepower in the game. The green jackets can defend themselves in a melee probably better than any other light infantry unit, and the Ferguson rifles will fire faster than pretty much any other light infantry unit, with the exception of a Windbushjäger. But Windbushjägers only have 45 men in the unit. So I mean, it's definitely Britain is a very tough faction on this game, and rightfully so. They should be, due to this historical time period. So here I used my militia. I'm using them as a meat shield rush. I've used my light dragoons to turn the attention of his green jackets. I let them stay there too long though and they got shot. But you're going to see Grenzers only have 90 range as opposed to the 120 range of, or 125 range of most of these regular rifle units. So I use my militia to meat shield, and that gives my Grenzers a bunch of open shots here. And Grenzers have a double-barreled gun. I don't know if you can see it very well, but if you look closely, these guys have a double-barreled gun. This allows them to have a lot of firepower. So although they're a 90 range unit, if you can get them into a fight, they will absolutely shred enemy units. And here's my militia units chasing these green jackets, just kind of making it to where they can't fire back. So you can see meat shields are quite an effective tactic if you use them right. So for those of you playing Empire, sometimes it's smart to just bring a couple of cheap militia, meat shield your rifles. This will give them the advantage of not taking the first shots, but allowing your guys to get in a good position to hammer the enemy light infantry. And usually if you can win the light infantry fight, you can win at this game, because light infantry is pretty much boss, especially on a flat map like this. Now I'm moving up my Windbush Jaegers, hopefully going to get some shots. This is actually, one of my Windbush Jaegers has my general. I'm pretty sure it's this one. That was a mistake. I didn't mean to do that, but what the heck is this? Some kind of like weird... Look, the Austrian flag is like smeared out. That was cool. I don't know what kind of weird glitch that was, but it's pretty cool. So you can see my Grenzers in close range are just going to absolutely mop up these British troops. They don't have a chance, because when it comes to firepower, these Grenzers are just way, way heavier hitting. Now, my opponent does have the range advantage, but he can't really take advantage of that right here. Trying to think, so I pretty much lost most of my cav, but so have the enemy units. The only thing that's left here is a general's bodyguard. Nothing to be concerned about. My opponent's running backwards, trying to give his units the range advantage, but I'm going to keep pushing forward, and here my Windjägers are going to come within range, I believe. And these guys are extremely expensive, and they're actually most useful on like a terrain map where they can fire out of trees, because they can fire while hidden out of trees. Makes them extremely deadly. So something to be aware of. But you can see that there is no smoke or anything from where they fire, so the only thing your opponent will see is the bullets. And yeah, these guys reload quickly. In real life they were using an air gun, used compressed air, just kind of like a paintball gun. Except of course I think most people are firing CO2 out of their paintball gun. And they had like a hopper of rounds that they could fire. So it's actually one of the first repeating rifles to ever be used in military. So very cool. I would love to get a hold of one of these Windbush guns. That would be like a very cool antique to come across. And like I said, that is my general. I'm luring his line infantry into my own line infantry. Of course, this is just Austrian line infantry, so they're not very good. That's why they come in 150 instead of 120. But I do have 3 units of guards. I brought them to make up the main portion of my line because the Austrian line infantry is so weak. So the guards are the dudes with like the green there. I don't think the standard Austrian line... Yeah, never mind. All my guys have greens. The Austrian guards aren't dressed a whole lot different. So I put my Windjägers out here on the flank, and I'm going to let them open fire into this line infantry. That's actually a unit of guards. So let's watch the kind of damage they do to these guards. Check that out, man. Just ripped up 14 of them. And my guys are going to fire rather quickly, like I said, just because they're using that air gun. They don't have to reload like black powder or anything. So they're already opening up the second shot. Rip that unit down, almost 30 men in 2 volleys. Now his guards are going to close the distance, but my Windjägers are still going to actually win this fight, which I think is pretty darn impressive. It just gives you an idea of like how quick these guys can reload and their accuracy. And the nice thing about an air gun in this time period would have been that the reloading and with black powder and stuff would actually foul the rifling. That was one of the drawbacks to rifles in this time period. So having the air gun was a definite advantage because it didn't foul the rifling. So it allowed for a very accurate gun, but also allowed for quick reload. Now obviously the downside to the air gun is that it was very hard to manufacture and couldn't really be mass manufactured. And rifling was kind of hard to do at that time as well. So the definite drawbacks in the sense that you couldn't mass produce it well. So you can see that my Windbush are under fire from those guards. Those guards are pretty accurate, have pretty solid reload, but my Windbush are going to keep pace with them at this point because they cause so many damage. I should have pulled my Windbush back, but I was just like, you know, whatever. I'll let them stand in this fight, just duke it out. They end up handling their own. You can see the rest of my troops over here. I've got one other wind boost unit, which is right here. I've moved them up in a position to start taking shots as well. So let's watch them. You can see I do like the smoke effects that this mod adds. It's pretty nice. Actually, I want to say that's my general right there. So my general must have been in this unit, but I'm not certain if my guys are going to open fire or not. Like I said, you can't really see the smoke. You just kind of have to listen for like the little cool sniper sound that they make. Here they go. Yeah, there they go, ripping into these guys. So you can see these British troops are just getting absolutely flogged over here under heavy fire. These green jackets, they're shattered. They're going to take off. And then I think my Windjägers start ripping into this unit next. Yeah, you can see some of them going down, the little blood effects. Anyway, I want to just say I appreciate Chaos playing these games with me. I have one other replay where I actually beat Chaos in a one-on-one, but then, like I said, he beat me in that 2v2, and I want to show you the 1v1, but I didn't really think that it would be fair because I accidentally forgot to save the replay from the 2v2 where he beat me. It was a really good one. So Chaos, if you're watching this, if there's any way you have that replay and you can send it to me, I'd love to show it. But I just don't think it would be fair of me to show the 1v1 against him, because then you all think like, oh, Heir just beat him and Heir's a lot better or whatever, which wasn't necessarily the case. And I also kind of enjoyed the tactics that Chaos used because it's different than what I like to do, and it's definitely a strong build. But for some reason, it's not going to show the results screen. Not really sure why, but hope you enjoyed this battle. You can see that was a clear victory for Chaos and I. Thanks for playing the game with me, like I said, and I appreciate the other fun games that I had with Chaos, and if he's watching and can send me the replay for that original 2v2, that would be freaking sweet, because I would love to post it. And anyway, like I said, fun times. Hope you all enjoyed it, and I will catch you soon.